right, what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Everybody getting ready? Looks like Joe is getting ready. Let's get ready to rumble. Lots of dollars coming in. I think so. I really believe so. A lot of dollars coming in pretty soon. Pumping into the crypto market. It's funny, yesterday I published this video here. Just a quick video. I was talking about this stimmy checks. And I think it's like over 500 views right now, but it didn't really get much action yesterday, like less than 100 views. But in the last few hours, it's been getting a lot of views and it's getting a lot of hate and a lot of hate comments. Like it's political. I was like, my intention wasn't to be political at all. I was being non-biased in this video. I said, Trump is rushing to get those stimmy checks out. Actually, I think they're calling them, the real term they're using is dividend checks. And they're not calling them stimulus checks. But I was saying he's rushing to get those checks out. And there are multiple scenarios. And one scenario could be that he's blocked by the Supreme Court. And they're going to say that the tariffs are illegal. And they're going to do that before he's able to get those checks out. And he's going to be like, well, hey, it wasn't my fault. You know, I try to give the American people, you know, their stimulus check and so on. But, you know, there could be one scenario. But I got a lot of hate as if this was a political post. I was just talking about crypto. What's going on? Yeah, Mr. Crypt, what's going on? Exactly, 100x. I think we're going to get a lot of 100x's. I think we'll get a lot of them. Yeah, we've been doing pretty good. We've been getting this phase of pre-run-up pumps, right? Like we had some good pumps in May. There was that was that recovery from that mini bear market in May and June and so on, right? And now, like, we're expecting the run-up right now, the run-up. And the last few months, we've been getting some pretty damn good ones, especially last week with the 130x with MYX. And, yeah, I mean, there's got to be, like, I don't know, it's hard to say for sure. I mean, we're going to be dealing with, like, 50 different tokens that are going to get at least a 20x or more. They're going to be, like, you know, they're going to be like over the top. I don't know, like 100. If we got a 550x with MYX pre-run up, right? 130x with DeAgentAI, and you know, pre-run up again. You know, just we made some good multipliers with Giggle Fund and a few others. Obviously, Advantis. I was talking about that last week. I was touting all these wins, and I actually left out Advantis. I couldn't believe it. You know, we did Disco, we did all these others, but yeah, we got interesting stuff going on. So when it comes to this government shutdown, I was chatting with Grok yesterday, and one thing was rather interesting. So Grok said, so crypto specific, Bitcoin dipped around 15% to 102K amid thin liquidity, with traders citing TGA, so that's Treasury General Account, as the key culprit. So the sentiment is bullish on a resolution. So the Senate vote today. So I was talking with Grok yesterday afternoon, so hours before the vote, and potentially this is the key right here, potentially unleashing 940 billion in spending and sparking a risk-on rally. So this is what Grok is saying. Good old Grok. Grok is pretty cool. Pretty good sometimes. So hopefully he's right. So that is a lot. That is one hell of a lot of dough. It's going to be flowing into the market. So yeah, that's why I get my clickbaity title, 1 trillion. But really, I mean, hey, you know, this is what this Grok is saying, 940 billion, so it's not too far off. You know, isn't necessarily clickbait, right? So, you know, in the thumbnail. But yeah, I mean, got some bullish stuff all over. Strategy bought 487 Bitcoin worth $49 million, and they now hold 641,000. So, this is what I'm saying. Big money, smart money. They're still buying Bitcoin, right? They're buying right now. If we're going into the bear right now, right, we would be going down. And if they believe we're going into the bear, they wouldn't be buying all this Bitcoin right now. They wouldn't be doing it. So I think good times are ahead. A lot of good times are ahead for the, like really good times, I would say. But I found this post interesting right here. So money was private for thousands of years until digital banking and CBDCs made every transaction traceable. Are privacy coins like Monero and Zcash really radical, or is surveillance money a real outlier? So yeah, it's a interesting philosophical perspective right here. So yeah, money has been private for ages, right? And it's funny because Bitcoin, which decentralizes everything, gets rid of the government and gets rid of central banks, actually tracks and exposes your transactions, which is interesting. So yeah, that's one thing about the privacy narrative right now that's been pumping. So I guess people have that in mind. But yeah, what else we got going on? Oh yeah, government shutdown latest. Senate moves towards ending shutdown as Trump says air controllers may be docked. I read into this article right here, and I was like, something about Trump saying that he's yeah, let me just do a find for Trump. Trump's ability to fire federal workers. Yeah. So Trump suggested he will sign the package, and when it reaches his desk, a Truth Social post Monday that he was added in a post on Monday that he was unhappy with air traffic controllers who took time away while they were foregoing paychecks, right? And if they don't return to work immediately, they will be substantially docked. And I was like, is that fair? I'm thinking about, is it fair? So I was like, I asked Grok, I was like, how much does the average air traffic controller make in the United States? Now, when it comes to their work, obviously, like it's creating a lot of havoc, right? Flight cancellations. I can't imagine if I had to travel, what I would be dealing with if my flight was canceled, and oh my God, it would be horrible. Yes, it would be really, really horrible. But can you expect people to work if they're not getting paid? Now, I was thinking, what would be a reasonable salary for somebody to just continue working, right? And say, okay, I'll get paid in a couple months and don't worry about it, right? What would be a reasonable salary for somebody to have that mindset, right? It has to be at least like $300,000 a year, right? Because you have to be like, you have this amazing salary and you can use a huge chunk of it for other investments, so we can invest in other sources of income, right? So is it fair to say that air traffic controllers have to work even though they're not getting paid? And if a senior level air traffic controller doesn't make more than 210, you're talking about mid-career 100 to 150K. I'm like, I don't know if that's reasonable. You know, like if you're only making like 150K and you're working, you're not getting paid, I'm like, screw you. I mean, yeah, I'm going to get back pay, but it's not helping me right now. I don't know. It's a weird situation. But then you look at it like from the other perspective, people like really frustrated because of their flights are canceled and all the other stuff. But who knows? I was just looking at it from that perspective. Right, you know, because if you're not getting paid, like you have bills, right? You have bills to pay. You have regular bills. You have to feed your kids. You have to buy food. You have to buy your own food. And if you're not getting that paycheck, you have to have a reasonable amount of money that you would have saved up prior and with other investments and so on. And you can't really do that if you have a pay less than like 200K. I mean, you could do it over time, over the course of many, many years. But I don't know, just that perspective. And of course, if you're buying crypto, right? You could be working at McDonald's, and if you were going into Bitcoin early, you're doing just fine. But fear and greed is still. Let me refresh this. Fear and greed is it went up from 24. Now this is weird because so yesterday when I checked it, or am I getting the days wrong? And it was this morning. I think last night when I checked it, it was 29, and I think I sent a message out to my group in Discord, and I was like, yesterday is 24. So if that was 2 days ago, it was 24. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I just refreshed it, and whether it was 29 last night or this morning, it's still at 29. So it bumped up by 5 points and went to 29. I would assume we've been getting, we've been getting some pretty good news. I would assume that the fear isn't that, the index isn't that low. With fear obviously being high, but yeah, I would assume that we should be going up a notch or two, but I mean, we'll see. What else we got going on? We're still red for November. We're still red for November with Bitcoin, but if things go according to plan and how they look like they're going to be going, we're going to get a green November. But you never know. You never know. So I've been saying for a very long time, the 4-year cycle theory is out, and anything could happen. It could be based on whatever happens, whatever deals Trump makes, or whatever things go wrong, and whatever types of liquidity flows into the market or is sucked out of the market, as we were just talked about with the government shutdown and so on. The TGA rebuild and things like that. So it's really, the crypto market is really affected by other macroeconomic factors. There's nothing to do with the halving. Nothing to do with the halving. Like, slap you guys. Punch you in the balls has to do with the halving. It's just kind of nuts. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Like I was a halving zombie. Right up until like late last year, and I started to come out of the closet and started to question it. Sort of like beginning of this year, and I really started to question it when we went really far down. Started crashing downward in February. I was like, this isn't supposed to happen. This is supposed to be the biggest bull run ever, and it's like Trump just got reelected. We got a crypto-friendly president, crypto-friendly administration. It's the post-halving year. Why the hell are we crashing down to bear market levels? And it was like February, then March, and then worse in April. I was like, this shouldn't be happening. So why is this happening? Why? And I realized there's the idea out there that the crypto market is not, the pumps and dumps are not based on the halving. So yeah. What else we got going on? Yeah, DeAgentAI. The one that we made a ton of money on last week with that 130x. Now we had multiple pumps. So I call this in mid-September in my group. We had multiple pumps. We initially did a 14x, right? Took profits on the way up. Then I bought back in when it went down. I also bought into another token, which is pumped in a little bit so far. So I'm not going to expose that publicly yet. Yeah, we had a few pumps, and then last week we hit that 130x mark. So I've been looking into it in a little more detail in the last few days, even though as I was going, one thing I'd like to say, it's going further down than I thought. I mean, it is like dramatically going down. Like, it was up to what? Like, it was like $10. Can I catch it on this? But yeah, I mean, if it were a meme coin, I would be like really concerned, because it's like, get this out of the way. It's like, yeah, it's like a 94% drop. Now it is a company. It's a company with utility. It has services. It makes money elsewhere. It has, if we click on fundraising right here, it has, it has investor backing. So the chances are you know, so the chart looks bad, but the good news is that, you know, the chances are it's going to revive again and go up again because of all these factors. Like if it was a meme coin, I'd be like, oh, this shit is dead. But, and the other problem, so that's good, right? There's bad and there's good. Now there's bad again, because I don't think it's good for it yet. I think it's good for another big pump, like in December. But after that, we're going to be looking at major inflation issues. We're going to be looking at, you know, as they release their supply, we're going to be, there's going to be really devalued. It's going to be like the same thing like I mentioned with Zcash. Just like Zcash supposedly has been pumping like crazy, like the last, you know, I don't know, was it 4 to 6 weeks or whatever. But if you bought Zcash like 8 years ago, you still wouldn't have gone positive yet, because the market cap of Zcash has gone up, but the token value has gone down for each individual token because the supply has been diluted. So the same thing is going to happen with DeAgentAI. So I'm going to wait for that next pump, that one last pump, and I'm going to just get out. Another interesting thing that I was looking at when it comes to DeAgentAI, I never really looked at what is this? This is the what is this? Jesus, I was just the weighted funding rate. I mean, so basically, from what this is measuring the longs and the shorts. So what happened with DeAgentAI, it was going up. It was, so this yellow line, if you can see that, right? This yellow line represents the price, and it started going up. So what happened was everybody started shorting it, and at that point, I guess what happened was it was more like retail shorting it, and then the whales were buying it and driving up the price, and they caused that to happen. So it was rather interesting to actually see this play out. So the next time we go into one of these major pumps, I'm gonna go into this graph right here and watch it. I never actually considered this before, but it's rather interesting. But yeah, that's my take on everything I think about DeAgentAI. And like I said, for anybody who doesn't know, anybody who's new here, yeah, we had some amazing gains there. Like my original investment with DeAgentAI was only $50, and because of swing trading it, and then you know, taking profits, accumulating dry powder, and then transferring, rotating into another token, I ended up with like $5,000. And the recent profit taking, what I did was I took, it was like I of the dry powder, I spent $25 on like 25 different tokens. All those tokens in my community that that's found by the software in my community that seeks out and scans tokens and everything about them, pretty much everything about them, so that we can find the right ones that are going to pump. And we've been finding them. We've got a whole list, and just in the last couple months alone, and we're getting those pre-run up pumps and taking profits, which is actually pretty damn good. I'm actually happy that that's happening, because I could take profits, rotate it into other tokens. Now I got more that I put into other tokens, and so now I have more money that increases, and it'll just keep on compounding. And eventually it's going to be a hell of a lot of money if this keeps on happening. Right? And it's happening pretty damn good so far. I didn't expect this 130x with DeAgentAI. I didn't expect it right now. So it was a nice surprise. I thought we were going to be good for that 14x initially, and then we was going to pump. We'd have to wait till December, but it went up 14x and went down, and it went back up like to the same level. So it was almost like at that 14x mark again, or something like that. And then suddenly last week it was explosive, absolutely explosive. What else we got? Oh yeah. So I got some stuff here. Just in 12 billion Bitwise CIO, Chief Investment Officer, not Chief Information Officer, which is typically means. But Matt Hogan on CNBC. I am optimistic that we're going to rally at the end of the year. Let's listen to this, right?
Crypto retail is in max desperation. We've seen leverage blowouts. We've seen issues with vaults. We've seen issues with yield protocols. And the market for sort of crypto native retail is just more depressed than I've ever seen it. I think that market is close to a bottom. It's hard to find a crypto native investor who still has much enthusiasm for the market. I think the market is shifting into an institutionally driven market. And interestingly, that market is still bullish. When I go out and speak to institutions or financial advisors, they're still excited to allocate to an asset class that, if you pan back and look over the course of a year, is still delivering very strong returns. So my view of the market is we have to get through this retail flush out. We have to hit bottom from a sentiment perspective. I think we're very close to that. And then I'm optimistic that we rally into the end of the year and into 2026 as the institutional investors who are more maybe even keeled about what's going on at a fundamental level in crypto start to drive the market forward. So I'm optimistic, but we do have to finish this washout of retail sentiment. And again, I think we're closer to the end of that.
Yeah. You know, it's rather interesting what I was thinking about it. So retail, the new retail isn't here, right? So, you know, all of us, we're retail, but what we've been doing, institutions aside, what we've been doing is like we've been trading against each other, you know, against each other and against institutions and so on. And it's very difficult. And when it comes to just meme coins, it's very difficult to turn a profit if you don't have new retail coming in. Because what you're doing is you're just trading against other retail, other OGs, other folks that have been in it for a while. And you have to get really good at it, right? And typically you have to be in a community, like a good community, right? No, obviously my community, because of the amount of tech and software that we got, so we're like top notch. But you can't be in a community where the the influencer is dumping on you, rugging you and stuff like that. So you have to really step up the game when it comes to being ahead, because there isn't new retail in that's pumping our bags. So we have to be strategic and do things wisely, and we're up against a mountain, because we're up against the institutions as well. So we have to learn how they play the game as well, and just try to stay ahead, which is like exactly what me and my group have been doing. Speaking of which, I was looking for some new yachts. So for those of you who don't know, the absolute goal of my group, of my group here, cryptorich.vip, and if you click the link in the description below, the absolute goal is to one day just chill on some super yacht. I mean, I don't know what the hell this thing, but this is really interesting. I just happened to find this. Very, very interesting. Very, very unique. I don't know what that's just some sort of a sky deck. Is that what it's supposed to be? I have no idea. But we're gonna be. I forgot to push this button. Ooh. Yeah, we're gonna be chilling on one of these yachts one of these days, man. So click that link in the description below, right? Because like I said, and I'm just not aware of any other community that has a track record as my community. It's not like I'm tooting my own horn, right? It's not like I'm being arrogant, because like I do offer $1,000 bounty for anybody who presents to me a community that has a track record, has the tech and the offerings that I have, right? All the tech, like the swing trading software, all the tracking of things, all right? And also the software that actually goes out and finds tokens when they just launch and determines that these are the tokens that are going to 100x, they're going to 500x, right? And 1000x. Hopefully we're going to get a few of those in the next month or two, right? So $1,000 bounty. You name the community, just contact me, maybe on X or something like that. I'll evaluate it, and you're getting an easy $1,000 if you can find a better community, right? Because you got to ask yourself, if you're already in a community and you're not taking profits like all the time. There isn't something pumping like all the time. You don't have a community. The community itself doesn't provide you with swing trading software, so you can swing trades and build your bags, right? If you don't see things pump even on red days, right? Which is like what we do all the time. Then you have to question yourself, man. Are you in the right community, right? Because we got all of that. So, and anyways, yeah, this is my thing, a nice yacht. So click that link in the description below. But yeah, going back to this retail stuff, yeah, we're up against a mountain when it comes to institutions, and we've been trading against ourselves, and we're waiting for new retail to come in because we need them, and we're not going to get them until the buzz is created. We need those amazing gains. We need those like 500% gains, those 1,000% gains, and we needed to make the headlines so that new retail comes in and says, wow, that's pretty cool. Maybe I can make some money in crypto too, right? Like it's already pumped 1,000%. Maybe we'll pump 1,000 more %. And then they start coming in and they start pumping our bags. So we don't have that yet, right? We don't have that until we get those increases of crypto market cap, of Bitcoin and everything, right? We're not gonna have that yet until like the ETFs start bringing in money and everything, until we start getting those huge pumps, right? Because then we get those initial pumps from the increases of liquidity, from the ETFs and everything, and then that creates the buzz, and then we get more pumps because from the retail, and they like to buy meme coins too. So most of my recent gains, like all the recent gains are not meme coins. Disco, we did like 30x on Disco, right? 70K was our bottom, went to like 3 million. Matt Freer's Disco. But most of the time meme coins are difficult. What else we got going on? Yeah, what is that? KGen, yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. I came across Canton Network. And it was back at Goldman Sachs. Canton Network. I don't know. It seems familiar to me, but I don't know. Unless just the word Canton is familiar. I might have seen it somewhere. No, I'm not familiar with it now. Yeah. What else we got? Oh, this is another interesting one. This is interesting perspective or conversation.
Does someone need to have in order to feel like they can be financially free at maybe a younger age than 65 or 70?
Right. So I'm gonna explain that, but most people look at Bitcoin in retirement through that lens because that's all they've ever known.
Yeah.
So then the debate comes in the Bitcoin community is, well, how much Bitcoin do I need to retire then? Which is the wrong question. So the primary method today is to save for retirement and then live off my savings and hopefully I die with zero, which I think is terrible. We should not do that. And why would I want to die with zero? Why wouldn't I want my heirs to start at a higher level than I had to start from? So what the wealthy do is the wealthy play a different game. And the game of wealth is one where I earn fiat and I buy assets because assets are wealth. I don't sell assets for fiat currency. So when someone says, Mark, when are you going to sell your Bitcoin? I'm like, you don't even know the game that we're playing. The game is to get assets, always get assets. And what we do is we can leverage those assets. I call it, we can harvest the appreciation with debt. So rather than selling the asset and no longer having the asset that's compounding at 30 to 50% per year and then paying taxes on that, I can keep the asset but pull some of it off with debt.
Yeah.
So the real number is as long as the asset is appreciating faster than the rate of debt. So if I'm borrowing at 10% and the asset's going up at 20%, I could do that forever.
Yeah.
The way that I've broken this down, I call it the 5-year retirement plan. I expect Bitcoin to hit $1 million by 2030.
You do.
$1 million by 2030, 14 million by 2040, and 40 million by 2050. Let's say you're an average middle-aged professional, and let's say that you've managed to save $200 or $300 grand. That's not enough to retire. You're going to sell 4% of those assets. You're going to be good for $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
You're not going to live on that. But if I took 100 of that and put it into Bitcoin today, in 5 years from now, that could be $1 million. Now, at the rate of Bitcoin's compounded annual growth rate and harvesting with debt, I could safely pull off about 10 to 15% of that principal every year in debt. So I put 100,000 into Bitcoin today. In 5 or 6 years from now, that's $1 million. I could pull out $100,000 to $150,000 of debt against the $1 million in perpetuity. Never paying taxes on the money because it's debt I'm pulling out, not income. And the asset is growing faster than the debt is accumulating. So then in 10 years from there, you owe whatever, $2-3 million, but against like 20 million in assets.
Yeah.
And then when you die and your kids are your age, they're going to owe like $20 million against like $100 million of assets, right? And so the asset will continue to grow faster than the debt.
How much Bitcoin?
What's going on, Craig? What's going on? 1 million by 2030? You think that's funny? I think it's very easy. I think it's realistic. I don't think it's realistic. He said, what did he say?
Have in order to feel like they can be financially free at maybe a younger age than 65 or 70.
Right. So I'm gonna explain that. But most people look at
I don't know. I'm going to listen to the whole thing again. What did he say? It was going to be 50 million by 2050? What did he say? I don't know about that. I think it should. It's like the law of diminishing returns. I think that as time goes on, it's not going to be that much, right? It could be that much, right? It could be exploding right now and continue to explode and not really observe that law of diminishing returns too much, just because of what's going on, right? We have the opportunity to expand out, to overtake the global stock market cap, right, within the next 10 years. The amount of growth that we might see, like governments buying into it, everything. The amount of money flowing into Bitcoin is going to surpass any particular stock you can think of, or any basket of stocks, any ETF or whatever. So I think it could still grow really fast right now, but I don't know about 2050. Yeah, you think that 2037? I think it's going to be more than 1 million by 2030, to be honest. But it's just, I don't think it's going to be. I don't want to play the whole thing all over again. But yeah, I think he said 14 million by 2040. So he's projecting 2031 million, and it's going to 14x in 10 years to 14 million by 2040. I don't know. I guess to the point where I'm thinking, okay, it's not going to grow that fast over time. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. What else we got? Yeah, I found this. I don't know if this is a joke. So hundreds of stray cats caused a Bitcoin mine in Inner Mongolia to lose millions in just 1 week by curling up on GPUs for warmth. Now I heard of like some mining operations in Mongolia. I have heard that, but I don't know. I think it was kind of weird. It seems like it was like AI generated, but I don't know. Do they have a cat problem? I've seen places where strangest things. Which one of those Asian countries? I don't know if it's Thailand or something. There's some country that they have monkeys, like little monkeys that crawl all over the cities, like in a city, like monkeys everywhere. The same way as the same way you would think that cats are everywhere, or even more. A lot more cats, a lot more monkeys than you would find cats in a city. It's crazy. So I don't know. I don't know if this is a joke or not, but yeah. Yeah, I know. I think 1 million. I can think of him. Like my thing that I've been talking about, our cycle top this cycle is 2027, and we'll just get another run up. If that's the case, we could potentially do it in 2027, but only time will tell if I'm wrong. We have to wait, until the end of 2027 before you can tell me I was wrong. So, but I think it's going to be 1 million before 2030, but we'll see. But in the long run, I don't know if it's going to go to 50 million, but 20, I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, guys, I think that's pretty much it. Make sure you click the link in the description below. As I said, we've been getting tons and tons of gains. So And the assumption, right? These are not promises, past gains are not promises of future results, but the assumption is that we are really, really going to perform. And so click the link in the description below. And, the other thing is, I don't know if I said it, but yeah, I usually like to punch you guys in the balls if you think this is financial advice. Yeah, nothing in this video is financial advice. So if you think this is financial advice, just click that subscribe button and a like button and just go away. Nothing is financial advice, man. Nothing is financial advice. Are you out of your mind? Yeah, man. But click that link in the description below. What is this? I've just seen your channel for the first time. Can you talk a little about your Discord and membership there? Oh, I was about to sign off. Yeah, sure. Yeah, if I can go into detail. Yeah, hey, why not? Let's do it. Let me maybe I can show some things. I can pull up the Discord. Let's see. I'm gonna switch over in a second. Give me guys. I can talk about it. Yeah. Okay. Discord. There we go. Okay. Yeah. What's up? Yeah. This is a cool place to be, man. We have some real. Yeah. We're gonna be having some real good times with all our gains. So, in my Discord, I have a ton of basically software that's hooked into my Discord. Number one, we have different bots. You know what? While I'm talking about the bots, let me just go over to here. So we have different bots. I keep on plugging in. Somebody just told me I should, have MYX here. Somebody commented on one of my videos saying I should have MYX because I did 550X. That's my biggest play, but yeah, I still haven't plugged them all in. So we started developing last year different bots, like highly advanced bots that go out and find new tokens at a very, very low market cap. They're going to pump, and you can see some of these gains, right? These are called by me, right? Turbo Toshi and so on. But we had a bot, this highly advanced bot called the Insider Alert. It found Fartcoin. We did an 86X. Nero. This is Dasha. Peanut. And one of the benefits is, like, for example, with Fartcoin, I always like to point out, I thought Fartcoin was pretty dumb. I thought it was kind of stupid. I didn't buy it, but I do have other members that bought it because we get a report every single day in a channel called the Insider Alert. So my members can really act on it and just research the coins that are printed out to that channel without me actually calling it. So that is very helpful. Then we went on, later on, to find coins that were much earlier because we're limited to the coins that were listed on CoinMarketCap. So a lot of coins pump before they get listed on CoinMarketCap. So we went out and we started developing other software called the Dex Alert. And it found a few of them. This happens to be Wallet Connect token. So in this particular example, it's pretty damn good because Wallet Connect, the thing on websites where you connect your wallet, they developed their own token. They made their own token, and they were in a 5-day pre-launch period where it wasn't listed on any exchanges yet, and nobody really knew about it. And this particular bot actually found it, and we got in on it. So we got in on it along with the other whales and insiders that were buying it, and we got in on it before it actually launched on exchanges. So we find like tokens in extremely low market cap. Like I said, DeAgentAI, which is 136X last week. MYX we found in May, and did a 550X in September. So that is just 2 months ago. Tutorial on BNB is another one we found in April, and it did that 94X in September. And the list goes on and on. We found Giggle Fun on BNB. Disco was another one. Massfear's Disco was a DGen play, but we did a 36X on it. We did, it just goes on and on and on. We found Advantis. We did the 10X in September on it within a couple of weeks, within 10 days. yeah, it's just crazy the amount of and like I even forget, even when I list them all out, I forget. There's so many of them. I can't believe I forgot about Avantis. We get a few others here and there. Sometimes we get some tokens. There's one called DeAgentAI that we found that I pointed out like a week ago in my Discord. We found it like over a month ago. We did a 4x. I took profits after 4x, and I said like, oh, I was lucky. I called. You know, I was lucky I took profits. I cashed out because it rugged afterwards. I'm like, oh great. So we've actually had a lot of situations like that where we get into a token. And then we cash out before it rugs. It's crazy. There's quite a few like that. There was a DeGen play called Bobby the Cat. Ticker was BTC, and when I call it at a 500K market cap, I actually rode it all the way up to a 50x, and my other members bought into it, got out way beforehand. They were scared. And I rode it up to a 50x and I cashed out, and it eventually rugged at a 60x. So I was lucky I cashed out. So yeah, I mean, we have a lot of good calls in there. But other than that, yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. And not only we do other things too. Like this is Toshi, right? We have this thing where, with all the coins that we monitor, we know exactly when and what centralized exchange they get listed on. So it's very good. It's like there was this time period when back in September when Toshi was pumping like crazy. We were like, oh, I know why. It's gonna list on, they suddenly got listed on a whole bunch of centralized exchanges all on the same day. So we track the centralized exchanges. And it's pretty good. Sometimes we're monitoring a token that has only like 2 or 3 centralized exchanges. And then we know that we get notified when they start getting more centralized exchanges. So I'm like, oh, obviously got something going on. Let's buy more. Let's buy into a little bit more. So we're going to be expecting some pumps. So things like that. We got all-time high alerts that notify us when something reaches an all-time high. And, not only the all-time high, if it's getting close to its all-time high, if it gets within 20%, within 10%, within 5%, just letting us know that a particular coin that we might have forgotten about is pumping. So that happened to me like last year. We had the insider alert last year, but we didn't have that. And I realized that, like, for example, Landwolf was, I don't know if it was a Landwolf on ETH or on Sol or whatever, but I didn't even realize it was pumping. Like it was coming close to its all-time high, within like 5%, and it was going back down. I was like, damn, it's like I should have caught that. I would have taken profits. I didn't realize it. And so we started developing all these other tools to let us know that, this coin is pumping. So, it's good to keep profits. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. We got swing trading software. This is my selling point, right? So if you go into my my website, so it's cryptorich.vip, and there's a /members, and you use the WAP authentication when you sign up, right, through WAP, and you can actually sign into my website. And then we have swing trading software that tracks our buys and our sells, so we can, sell high, buy back in lower, sell high, buy back in lower, increase the size of our bags. Like with tutorial on BNB, we got into it like in April, and it was going up and down, and I kept swing trading it, and I was able to like double the size of my bag. So when we did that 94x in September, it was like I did a 200x, just because I kept selling high, buying back in low, just increasing the amount of tokens that I had in my bag. Yeah, I mean, it's just like crazy amounts of stuff. Like I said, $1,000 goes out to anybody. $1,000 goes out to anybody. If you can tell me of another community that has, stuff like this, that has the track record with the gains, that has this tech and the software, and it has a cool community leader, the type of guy who wants to buy a yacht and take everybody out one day on a big, nice super yacht. So if you can find another community like that, you got $1,000, easy $1,000. Just let me know. Yeah. So I hope to see you there, man. Check out our meme point project for building houses on a lot. What is it? What is this, spam? Yeah, man. So I hope to see you guys there. and you got the cool. Yeah. No problem, man. Yeah, I guess everybody needs to hear it. I guess I should give the whole selling pitch every live stream, I guess, because at least some new people have never seen my channel before. But I don't want to get tiresome to my regular viewers though too. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna catch you guys later.